So, hi Shaan, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks a lot.
I know this was such an impromptu thing, so thank you.
As in, I'm in a very beachy look.
You are.
So relaxing my way, having a piece of tender coconut, and you just call me up.
Yeah, do you think the voice will come, or should we give him like a phone to
I'm
call?
the loudest person.
Yeah, I think you're loud enough, right? Punjabi by heart. Anyway, okay. So, yeah, Shaan, tell us about yourself. What's your story?
I'm Shaan, and I'm 23. I'm becoming 23 in a few weeks. I'm 22. I'm a software developer. I work in the front end side, and I've been in the blockchain space for about 3 years now.
Ooh,
And-
I need one.
And my hobbies include motorcycling and backpacking.
Oh my god, have you been to like Ladakh and like all those?
No, not exactly,
With
but-
Kashmir. This is like my dream one. But I wanna go
I'm
with
not,
the
I'm not a
right
very
person.
mountainy person. I feel a bit, as in like internally bad when it's high altitudes plus slopes and stuff. But then I'm a beach person, so I've done
Yeah,
a lot of.
looks like that.
Looks like that. I'm always in that mode. But yeah, I've done rides across. I took a perimeter ride across the island of Bali, and I did an NH4 ride on the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and then the western coast in India. And all this in like less than a year.
Yeah, Andaman is like a gorgeous place, right? It's like it's this serene beauty at in like this undiscovered part of it. I think when I went there, I felt like it could really compete with a lot of international spots
Very,
that I have.
very true. Port Blair is such a developed city that nobody really knows about it. It's as
I
good
went
as.
somewhere inside too, not
Okay.
just Port Blair. I don't remember that. My memory is not that great with the names.
Mhm.
Where else did you go?
Just the Havelock Islands from Port Blair,
Okay.
and then again the rest of the Great Nicobar Island. It's not
Wow.
really named, but then it was a bike ride. Everything that came on the way that was
Wow.
discovered.
So you love traveling.
I love traveling. I've been traveling since birth, pretty much.
Nice. Yeah. So okay. So do you know anything about astrology?
Not much, except for the fact that I'm an Aries, I believe.
Ooh, Aries.
I don't know, when does April 14 fall into? It's an Aries, Taurus,
So you're
interlinked.
I'm a March 24.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, got it. But
And-
we are like these fire signs, right? We're just always going there, running like the fools.
I have no idea what each and every of these signs are supposed to mean. But then, if I have a good excuse to take out of it, I do that.
Okay.
That's
So-
all the
So,
horoscope I have.
so you don't believe in astrology? It's not your thing.
No, it's not like that. It's
It's
just
something
that
you
I'm
can
agnostic about. It's
Okay.
just not something I really focus on.
What about God?
That's deep. That's deep. I do
Are
believe.
you telling me asking about God is deep? Like that's the most basic question everyone. Is
No,
like, it's like you
because
either
my,
believe-
my belief has taken a lot of turns due to experiences,
Ooh.
and it has a very personal definition to it.
Yeah, but I think that's everyone, right?
Yeah, but then it comes through a lot of spiritual exploration back during the pandemic time, especially around 2020. I was more invested in finding out why exactly things are happening the way they were happening.
Yeah,
There were some
why?
personal incidents, yeah. But then later you always end up with one or two factors which just really don't have an explanation. And then probably just was meant to be the way it was. And then what do people, like general people, they take the route of God over here. It's like God was testing me or God was favoring me over here. But then if you go deep down to like find those answers, I think everything has a reason behind it, just how physics works in general. But on the flip side, there is something. There is something which I don't know about. There is something which I was praying to, and things turned out very well for me. What's the intermediary? I have no idea. But there was a cause, there was an effect. I saw that happening.
So that's
and-
science.
No, I don't think it's science. There was
There's
something.
a cause and there's an effect. That's science, no?
But then what's the process?
Yeah, you don't understand the process.
I don't understand the process.
But you know that the science exists.
Yeah,
Can we say that?
we can say that. Yeah.
So yeah, modern science is something that there is a cause and an effect. We understand the process, the more
True.
we prove it through theories,
True.
and so that's what we say is modern science.
True.
And occult science is where there's a cause and effect. All of us believe that it exists. We just don't know the process. Some people claim to know the process, but they're not able to prove it logically.
Yeah.
So we reject them because we think logic is the only factor
Yeah.
that modern science runs with.
Okay.
And emotions cannot be a factor
Mm-hmm. No.
to kind of prove to science. Is that And
Again, I don't want to bring in.
Yeah, but like a close thing we've got is psychology, where you
Okay.
kind of take few people, you think about their emotions, and you kind of able to build it, and so you kind of say, oh, emotionally this is what can happen.
Okay.
But it is a very generic one.
Okay.
And occult is way more creative and free. So you're
Okay.
kind of putting creativity in a box through
Okay.
psychology,
Okay.
sort of. But can we put emotions in a box? And can we say that this is the cause and this is the effect? Is that possible? Do you think? Being an engineer.
Being an engineer, okay. If I have to tackle it from that perspective,
Only being an engineer.
tackling it from that perspective, yes, because again, there are limited number of hormones being produced under you, and
Only limited, sure.
I'm pretty sure, as in chemically limited, very limited.
Yeah.
You can pretty much count them unless there's something which has not been discovered yet. But
Yeah,
then
it is discovered, right? There's law of manifestation, there's abundance,
Yeah.
and that basically means unlimited, infinity. It kind
True.
of keeps going on. So there is limited and there is unlimited.
yeah, so I'm not
Hormones
coming
that
to
you
that.
can see.
So I'm tackling it from an engineer's perspective.
Okay, come on, do it.
So hormones limited, the things you feel pretty much limited, but very abstract.
Yeah.
It's a spectrum. We know that there is two extremes to it, but then where exactly where exactly does your feelings lie in it? It cannot be very defined, and it's like taking a number line, say 1, 0 to 100, but then you can keep dividing it, you can keep fractionalizing it as much as you want, infinitesimally smalls. So then now you technically have infinite numbers, but then your range is 0 to 100.
I didn't get that. So see, that's the thing. Like, you know,
It's a spectrum.
even after doing CA and like doing all this, like working with all the biggest companies in the world, when an engineer talks about science, I'm just like, go blank. Like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, what? So explain again, please.
My point is defined limits, but then you can't exactly define an abstract emotion.
But I think that's the thing. In emotions too, right? There are boundaries.
Okay.
So when you go through your work and like anger is an emotion.
Yeah.
Feeling bad or crying is an emotion. You know, all of these are emotions. They're a feeling chart that I have that I work on with my app. And so basically, what I help you understand is first I understand what are the important aspects of
Okay.
it. Then I help you understand, okay, what are your triggering emotions? Why are you doing it? There's a why, what, and how, right? And then what are the emotions that are driving it? So logic, it's clear.
Yeah, true.
You've kind of decided this is the reason why I'm doing it. Now emotions is the subconscious. It's the 95% that's driving it.
Yeah.
So you're passionate about it. There must be a reason why you're passionate about it, right?
Okay.
And there's an emotion that you're feeling. It's either making you feel happy, either making you feel sad, either making you feel excited.
Okay.
You know, like something that you're going
Yeah.
through. Now for each of that emotion, if it happens in a good way, you go up.
Okay.
If that happens in a bad way, you go down.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah, true.
It's
Agreed.
like this.
Agreed.
So there's a cause and effect of every
Yeah.
action and that reaction,
Yeah.
and that cause and effect that you can see logically is your conscious, and you can't see logically is your subconscious,
Okay.
your emotion, right? And for emotion, that's why we talk about putting boundaries. The way for logic you have limits, right? This is my limit.
Yeah.
For emotions, you have boundaries. Like this is what I do. If I understand myself, I will let people help me till this angle or for this reason. Or even if I don't agree with someone, I would still give them time or space because I can see through that they are at a stage where I was probably long time back.
Okay.
So, for example, there's this person I work with, and at times I feel like he really wastes a lot of time of me, and it irritates me. Like, you know, I'm like an Aries, so we want everything quick.
Okay.
You know, you
Okay.
understand that, right? Like, it's like I am a very impatient person. When I
Okay.
know what I need to do, I want it now.
Okay.
That's an emotion. I'm impatient.
Okay.
Now there's another person who's very patient. He's going very slowly, logically, think thoughtfully because he takes responsibility for his actions and things. But it irritates me, you know, because you're too slow, man. Why are you thinking so much? Why can't you like quick? Like I don't have that much time. Now that irritates the other
Do you
person.
think it's impulsive or you're just fast?
Exactly. That's perspective.
Okay.
You know, for me, I'm fast.
Okay.
It works for me.
Okay.
For the other person, I'm being impulsive and like rash and like not being thoughtful enough.
Okay.
You know, and that creates some sort of a what do you call it? Like
Friction?
friction of some sort, and that's where boundaries come into place. So I have to be very self-aware to say, right, I'm being impulsive or impatient here. I need to be more patient. There will be other people who have kind of cut off this person because they think that this person is of no good use because it's a long end. They've kind of done it. They can see that side in me that I can do it. So they would tell me, don't spend time with this person. This person is wasting your time. And I'm like, I don't really care because for me there are three most important things. The first one is intention. No matter what anyone says, the intention, the energy is louder than anything else. Then it's about effort, action. You know, what you're actually doing. Does that go with what you are saying? That's the third thing. You can say all the best things. Oh my God, I believe in God. I'm the biggest fan of God, and I'm the biggest believer in Krishna and this and that. But if your actions speak that you are kind of making a cult, which is just behind you, you don't believe in universal concepts. God didn't make this world to be just to one religion, or like Hindu or Muslim or like Christianity. He made the sun and the moon, and they're the same for brown or white or black or everyone, right? So that's the same thing. And for me, it's that same. You start with intention. If I see there's someone who's putting in that he's kind of trying really hard to get something there, and he's putting in the action that supports it, and then it's words. Now the words are irritating, right? Because this person is not doing exactly what I want that person to do. That's when I try and bring some boundaries from my side. Okay, I can give you this much time. This is where you're going beyond my talk, or I'm getting irritated with this. I'm communicating my problems, and that helps. And that's emotions. So the moment you're able to put boundaries to emotions, it's like limits to logic.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh wow! I made an engineer believe.
It's about transpiling. It's about deriving correlations between, say, a proven example with something which can probably correlate with, right?
Yeah.
So as long as it makes sense, it does make sense.
Pretty much. That's it. So right, we talked about, what about the two things that we talked about for you? One was
emotions.
And,
I guess finance.
And finance. Okay. Yeah. So these are your two main focal points for this year.
Okay, let's say that. Yeah.
Okay. And so what is working well and what is not working well for you? Like if you had to decide, or kind of say, you go to YouTube or you go to Google, right? There's unlimited options.
Yeah.
And don't you feel like you get lost? Especially for finances, right? That's the most basic thing. Everyone wants like some sort of financial freedom or that financial basics that they can get to. And someone told me something was very helpful for me. I think men have a financial clock and women have a biological clock.
Okay.
So you can't really judge it in the same way.
True.
If a woman is financially successful but she's not really done what she wants to do, you know, like from a Vedic or a feminine context, we have these needs to mother and to be with someone, be in a loving relationship. That's how we feel our feminine side.
Okay.
And if we are making money and everything, we feel our masculine side.
Okay.
You know, like we are more, what do you call it?
Productive?
Yeah, more evolved. Now I've seen both sides of women. Women who like completely domesticated and they completely embrace their feminine side. But their masculine side is dead. They say that my self-confidence is dead, I don't feel like anything, I can't do anything. I was such a strong person, I wanted to do this, and now I'm like this super sad person, you know, and I can't do anything about it. I feel helpless because I have my kids, you know, their responsibility, their purpose, purpose is about their kids, right?
Yeah.
And then there are men who are like being really nice and everything, but at the same time are not able to financially achieve because they're going with the right mindset, and they don't know how to cheat, they don't know how to get greed and fear to work for them, and they're just working on their purpose, and like, you know, again, they're not that socially accepted. So these are men who are more in tune with their feminine, again.
Yeah.
So there are more couples which are more in tune with their feminine energy and they're not financially successful.
Okay.
There are more couples which are very in tune with their masculine energy, both of them, and they kind of relate to it, and they're very financially successful, but emotionally what is going on behind the scenes is like what we see in the movies. You know, you've got everything, but you don't feel like you belong. You're like, you have a rush of people around you, but you're alone.
Okay.
And then there's some people who are in the middle who are like figuring out and like just exploring or like are doing different characters. And they're very aware. And in between the process, at times they actually find someone who accepts them exactly as they are. And that's like, I think, blissful, right? Because one, you know yourself, and then you get that lucky to get someone who knows that person and then together you kind of build something. And for a lot of people, you might not come across as um, someone who is idealistic or acceptable as per society standards. Like one of the things I was told was, oh, you have to be in a very successful marriage, like pretty marriage, to kind of show for your products to work. And I feel like that's not real. Why should I portray like a Jay Shetty and a Radhi Shetty or like a something like that to kind of get the image? Okay, I'll get the followers, but it's too idealistic. I don't feel it's real. Not everyone can achieve that. You know, what I get in my personal life, I don't mind sharing it. That's not the problem. The problem is putting it in a box and saying this is the way you all have to get there is not right. That's what God did. Like, God kind of created this world and said, go play. Now there's Radha Krishna who was different. There's Shiv Parvati is different. There's Brahma Saraswati who are different. He didn't say go and become like us two only. We choose our idols, right? Why should I be the idol? There are so many Instagram influencers. If you want to get people who are just like you know, for show, you go them. If you want to be someone who's real, who wants to find something and have a real life and kind of embrace both your masculine and your feminine, then I'm the person. Like, I can help you be both those sides and be unapologetically you, if you're a man or if you're a woman. And I think that's what I want to kind of help people understand, because the more you accept that, the more you accept yourself, you'll stop getting influenced. And this world of influencers, this world of our dependency on technology, this world of dependency on artificial intelligence will go away. You won't need people like me, right? You'll have your own people, you'll have your own communities, you'll have your own things. And so I think, same, I don't want to fit into a box of an influencer and say that this is the ideal version and this is what we want to be. Yeah, there was a market for it, people capitalized on it and they got it. I'm not it. For me, I feel like I just want to inspire you to feel yourself, be authentic, and actually understand love. So, like, my name
How do you define love?
Yeah, so that's the story, right? So my name is Priyadarshini. So Priyadarshini means, Priya means love, lovely. And Darshini means philosophy. So I kind of found Priyadarshini really long and I never really took that as a whole thing. But I think eventually I realized understanding the philosophy of love and explaining it to people. And so I think my life to me was understanding what love is. And I've kind of been through my own experiences to get there. I think the first time I realized what true real love is when I was probably 1 year old. So I kind of got that vision just recently this year. But when I was 1 year old and I was the only child at that time, and my father had gone first time to Hong Kong or some place outside, and I, as a child also, I could feel him missing, like from home. And he comes back a week later and I'm like lying on this bed and I do this, like, you know, smiling, and he opens the door. And till date when I ask him like, what is your favorite memory of me? So he tells me that, you know, that day when I came home and you were like this. And since then he's never gone. Like he never, after that, till the time I grew up and I was in my home, he never left. And I think I would never want to leave him. I would always want to stay with my father, and like he's like my backbone, my safety net, my everything. But I think when I came out in the real world, I realized that that safety net made me completely unprepared for the world. And so I kind of decided to stay in London, you know, figure out things on my own. Still trying to figure out things on my own, not take money from my dad, like try to build this business on my own. Because I know he'll give me everything. He's worked so hard in his life to give me anything. But I just like it when I see that proud expression on his face, that I've done something. And so I know that the masculine side I've embraced very well. This feminine side, this crazy side of me, that I'm like still exploring. With me and my mom, I'm like still trying to understand, because she's like this super emotional person. And like we come from a family history where there was mental health issues. Like my grandmother had bipolar, and so she went off, and like at that time there were no things to kind of, so you know, that had an impact on my mom. She was a super smart woman, went to SRCC, did everything, and but then became a housewife, gave up everything. So it completely gave up her masculine side and completely embraced her feminine side. So the entire life, her real thing is, मेरे बच्चों ने खाना खाया कि नहीं? Like, have they eaten or have they not? Like, even if I'm in London, खाना खाया, सो जाया करो time से, and like literally these are her favorite topics. And then she would want to talk about her feelings of like what Papa did or what my brother did and like how that makes her feel or what her friends are. Like, you know, her
Typical
topic,
moms.
her thing is only about her emotions and like things that she doesn't understand. And then I help her understand few things. And I think she's the reason why I'm independent.
Okay.
So like when I was growing up, my mom basically said, you know, no matter what you do, become independent. And at that time I had this simple dream of like opening a little boutique and like, and I told her, I ended up becoming a CA instead of doing a boutique. It's now that I'm like, okay, I've spent my whole life, and every time I said 2 years later, 2 years, and now I'm like, life is gone. I'd rather do what I want to do now instead of keep waiting. So yeah, I think like my family, there was unconditional love. My first love, there was unconditional love. We were such extremists, like God. Like I think till date we are these extremists, and we went through our period of separation, and we're not together anymore. But I think it's a feeling that I can't really explain, but it's a feeling I can't really replace. And that's why if someone tells me, go make up a story that you are in this loving, happy relationship, and that is what the world should follow, I'm like, hell no. Like for me, there was something which was very real. I lived it. I lived every second of it. I fought every second of it. I went to the lows as well. And now I'm at a place where I'm happy and content with where I am at. And I'm exploring my life and I'm figuring out. And I'm getting people who are accepting me for exactly who I am. And that to me is more than enough. Like I'm in bliss. Why should I showcase a story of I'm a feminist and I hate men, or I am this men lover and I'm like Smriti Irani, oh my god, you need to be this traditional women and like wear a sari, and only then you can get into politics. Why not Mahua Mitra? Just because she wore a sari and wore expensive bags, I'm wearing a skirt, so that means I can't be spiritual. You know, I don't believe in this shit. I believe there can be perspectives and we can choose to be whoever we want to be. And I just want to have a voice out there which allows people to be that, because there's nothing right here. I can't see anything. They're either this cups, which box of the society, what is your niche target? Like that's the first question to start with. What is your niche target, right? Like these are the people, okay, 28 to 35, these corporates, they have this mindset. So just go to them. And if you have to go, you wear a suit. Or if you want to attract men who are horny and watch porn, then wear something sexy. But you can't wear something sexy and go to a corporate because they'll kind of think, I mean, shit, right? And it's not logical thinking or what they're. And then women who don't understand it, they're like, we are being used, we are this. And then they kind of get back to the guy who is literally doing the same thing, right? And everyone can see that except them. And the women who kind of can see, they are the ones who are keeping quiet. Because we can't do anything about it, we're helpless. And I'm like, I don't go with either of you. We can change the world if we want. It's just about us helping people see it and embracing yourself. And even if I don't get the millions who kind of watch my show and who listen to me, even if I get like these 20 people who are already listening to me, or these 300 people who've already given me interviews, that's more than enough for me. Spending 5 minutes with me will make them think. If they think, they do something in their life. That's more than enough for me right now. I'm financially secure. My dad did that when I was a child. He spent his entire life building something for me and my brother that we don't have to care. Why I did it was to understand and build something independent for me. And I'm very happy with where I've got to. Even if in terms of society, it might not be the idealistic person I am. They might call me crazy or backward, whatever. But I'm okay with whatever tag.
As long as you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with whatever tag they're giving me. I get my highs, I get my lows. I am sad, I'm happy. And I do feel that there is space to be authentic for everyone. And I just want to be that space. That if anyone ever wants to be authentic and wants to just be themselves, they can come to this community, which is not based on if you're a Hindu, you get an entry, or you're a Islamic, so you are considered as a terrorist. You know, everyone is welcome. Everyone can come say their thoughts, and it's not about being judged. I think that's love. When you accept someone exactly as they are and you help them become better, and they work in sync with nature. You don't have to go through a climate change paragraph or philosophy. It's simple, right? There's nature, the plant is going to grow and then it's going to die. If you take care of it, if you water it, it will grow. If you leave it for months, it will die. Same as for animals, it's a real living animal. It has emotions. If you're cutting it and you're eating it, you are killing someone. And so you can explain to yourself n number of times that you are this nice person who's very spiritual, but still eats meat. You know, like, and I'm someone who's a vegan and I don't do it, this and that, and but I can get endless amount of money in my account through doing leather or selling leather or like doing parties. Whenever you go to extreme of something, right, something that you don't need, and you don't help people who are in need, you are defeating nature. You are kind of going against nature. And if people at large understand that and they start asking for what they deserve and demand and need, the world can change. This is my stand. And
The world can change.
The world can change.
It's just that one has to take the move, the one has to take the step.
Yeah.
And if people want to follow that, they would.
I'm doing that with Mr. Engineer. Thank you.
Thank you
This
so
was
much
really
for
helpful.
that. Yeah. Thank you for being in my podcast.
Thank you. Okay, so I think we can just do that quick video. So if we were to showcase our product stuff, would you maybe want to try it?
Yeah, sure. And like, what's the product? Where's the product?
So we'll kind of have a video in which we'll explain. But basically, remember the apps I was telling you about, Benzene Potion. So the way you were talking about, you want to focus on